Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, one woman is dead after a tree falls through her house and into the bedroom in Mercer County. Plus, President Biden delivers remarks at Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia to commemorate Memorial Day.
Plus, we are tracking a much quieter forecast for the rest of this week. Those details on the way as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Olivia Calfee. The severe weather has left eastern and southern Kentucky, but many are still in cleanup mode after the havoc that was left behind during the weekend. Now let's check in with meteorologist Cameron Aaron, who is tracking what's going on right now. Cameron?
Yeah, Olivia, some very busy weather yesterday. Also for the first half of your Monday, check out these reports from across the region. And this is for the past 24 hours. This is basically that third round that came through late last night, also early this morning, and still have thousands of people across the state without power after many trees and power lines were knocked down. But like Olivia mentioned, some good news. We have no active weather across the region on this Monday. Up on first alert pinpoint Doppler, tracking some mainly dry weather, a few sprinkles, a few light showers, one heavier shower over parts of Claiborne County, Tennessee, just to the south and east of New Tazewell along US 25E there over in Claiborne County. But for most of us, tracking some dry weather, also some sunshine across the region on this Monday. A live look from Buffalo Mountain from Perry County up to 79 degrees under a mix of sun and clouds. Most of us today in the upper 70s to lower 80s, so we are close to average on this Memorial Day, up to 82 for Harlan, also in Middlesboro, 78 for Jackson, and up to 75 over in Pike County at this hour. If you have those plans this evening, a small chance of a stray shower, maybe a light sprinkle, but again, for most, tracking some mainly dry weather and mild conditions as those temperatures are back in the upper 60s to lower 70s, but we could see some 40s in just a few nights. All those details coming up in just a few minutes. Olivia?
All right, Cameron, thank you. Storm damage has affected folks in various parts of the state. In Mercer County, a woman died after emergency officials say a tree fell on top of her home. The coroner says it was approximately 1 a.m. overnight when the incident was reported at a home in the Bergen community. The tree fell into the bedroom of a 67-year-old woman. Her identity has not been released. The woman's spouse was also at the home during the time of the incident, but their condition is not known. In Louisville, a man died yesterday after he reportedly was hit by a tree during the severe weather. Louisville Metro Police responded to the incident at approximately 12:30 p.m. The man that was reportedly hit by a tree was found and died before first responders could take him to the hospital. Governor Andy Beshear confirmed not long ago that at least 5 people have died from the storms that happened during the weekend. None of those were from our coverage area. About 70 million Americans are expected to be impacted by severe weather from the south up through the northeast. It follows tornadoes and other extreme weather that killed at least 21 people in parts of the Midwest and South during the weekend. CBS's Dave Malkoff reports from Valley View, Texas.
A funnel cloud was caught on camera in Eddyville, Kentucky. The state's governor declared a state of emergency early Monday because of the severe weather.
Communities across Kentucky experienced storms that produced strong winds, multiple tornadoes, hail in some places.
Hail and twisters also battered parts of Missouri. In St. Louis, neighbors worked to clear the debris.
We're lucky. Everybody here is lucky our houses weren't destroyed.
Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders got a first-hand look Monday at the damage in her state.
I knew something was bad. We heard it. It lasted a couple minutes and then pretty devastating. 2 young children were among the victims of deadly twisters in Cook County, Texas.
With this particular one, the damage and the loss is just really heartbreaking.
If you look at all the 300 tornadoes that have happened so far this season, it makes it the second worst April on record. Amid the destruction, there are stories of heroism, including at this truck stop where Hugo Parra told his fellow travelers to take shelter in the bathrooms.
When I say let's go to the restrooms, you know, the dispatcher started, hey, go, 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 go. And everybody listened and everybody go to the restrooms.
That person saved probably 50, 60 lives.
The local emergency manager tells CBS News nobody died in this gas station, thanks to that quick thinking voice in the dark. Dave Malkoff, CBS News, Valley View, Texas.
There was reportedly a risk of tornadoes today from Pennsylvania to North Carolina, including the Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia metro areas. There's also a risk of flash flooding around the Philadelphia and New York City areas, as rain rates could exceed 2 or 3 inches per hour. And we do want to remind you to download the WYMT weather app. If you have not already done so, you can just scan the QR code you see on your screen, and that will take you to where you can download the app. The app is free and available in the App Store and Google Play Store. Former President Donald Trump says he would crush pro-Palestinian protests that take place on college campuses and expel student demonstrators from the U.S. The Washington Post reports Trump made that comment during a fundraiser in New York on May 14th, according to donors at the event. The presumptive Republican presidential nominee reportedly called the protesters part of a, quote, radical revolution that he promised to defeat. Prepared remarks by RFK Jr.'s running mate show that she planned to speak out against vaccines at the Libertarian National Convention yesterday. Nicole Shanahan said she ultimately did not speak at the convention due to party votes running behind schedule. But in a social media post today, she shared a copy of the speech she planned to deliver. Shanahan planned to tell the audience that COVID-19 vaccines are unsafe and ineffective. Memorial Day is unofficially the start of the summer, and many Americans are enjoying cookouts and even some beach time. But the holiday is about so much more than that, as CBS's Natalie Brand reminds us from Washington, D.C.
President Biden made the sign of the cross as he laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. He then addressed Gold Star families at Arlington National Cemetery.
To everyone who has lost and loved someone in the service of our country, to everyone with a loved one still missing or unaccounted for, I know how hard it can be.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin honored the memory of Army Staff Sergeant Stevan Booker. He posthumously received the Distinguished Service Cross for Valor for protecting his fellow soldiers from attack at the start of the Iraq War.
In the heat of the fight, he even fired back with his own personal weapon, lying exposed on top of his tank turret for mile after mile.
Here at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, veterans and their loved ones honored the more than 58,000 names on this wall. Vietnam veteran Ken Hart traveled from California to find his friend's name on the wall.
So I found his name on the wall and prayed for him and his family. I feel I got to come home, and many did not.
Retired Major General Donna Barbish was a young nurse who volunteered to serve in Vietnam. She mourned the loss of one particular patient who reminded her of her brother.
It broke my heart. It broke my spirit. But I remember.
Ceremonies like these and festivities like the National Memorial Day Parade celebrated the lives of those dedicated to protecting the nation's freedoms. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Heroes from World War II served as the Grand Marshals for the National Memorial Day Parade. The woman who held the Guinness World Record for the longest serving flight attendant has died. For nearly 7 decades, Betty Nash shared her contagious smile with the world from 30,000 feet. Shortly after she graduated from college, Nash applied for a job as a stewardess, as flight attendants were then known. And in 1957, she started her lifelong career as a flight attendant with the now defunct Eastern Airlines. Nash was 88 years old. And coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, a balance transfer card can be a tool to help pay off lingering debt. The questions you need to ask before you say yes.
Plus, we could see some upper 40s for those lows by the middle of this week. Your forecast coming up after this break.